Welcome to another episode of Perspectives Live. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Manisha Kimmel, and I am the head of Low Latency Business Integration at Refinitiv. It is my pleasure today to host today's session. So what we're going to talk about today is the acquisition of Maystreet by Refinitiv, and take a closer look at a couple of important items. First, what the acquisition means for our customers. Second, how market trends are impacting firms in this space. And three, a little bit of a backdrop on, given these challenges that firms are facing, how does Refinitiv help our customers meet their needs? So hopefully we'll have time for audience questions towards the end. If you have any questions, you can enter them into the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. I'm delighted today to be joined by my colleagues, Janelle Veasey, who is the group head of Real-Time at Refinitiv, as well as the former CEO of Maystreet, Patrick Flannery, who is now the group leader of the Low Latency group at Refinitiv. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Janelle, coming to you first, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself to this group.
Sure, Manisha. Well, firstly, hello to everyone tuning in. It's great to be here. As Manisha just said, my name is Janelle Veasey, and my role here at LSEG is running our global real-time business across the group, including the Refinitiv business. And this involves managing our world-class real-time and tick history content, as well as the distribution technology over which it's delivered.
Great. Patrick?
Yeah, I oversee the low latency group, which we've also informally referred to as the direct feed. So it's both the low latency software that connects directly to markets, as well as the high quality packet capture data that we receive out of exchanges.
Thanks, guys. Why don't we just drill right into it? I think one of the questions people often ask is, how should we respond to change? A lot of people think that change is very painful, and I think just starting out, maybe if you guys could talk a little bit about what challenges are our customers seeing, and how has the addition of Maystreet to Refinitiv help address some of those challenges. Janelle?
Well, I think first of all, our customers are telling us they're challenged with the very fine balancing act of efficiency and productivity. So reducing spend, being agile, automating faster, and evolving with cloud-enabled technologies. And all this whilst driving high returns, generating new revenue, and staying ahead of the competition. And I'd argue that data is really highly integral to delivering these objectives. And as data volumes continue to rise exponentially at times, as we've recently seen, we're finding our customers are seeking quality data from providers who can offer not just the breadth and depth of data, but the frequency, the distribution, and the display options to meet their needs. And really, we're seeing more and more customers changing the way they work. For example, our customers are hiring more developers with advanced programming and data skills, many of whom are part of our Refinitiv developer community, which has actually quadrupled in size in the last year. So we're seeing a lot of change and evolution. And just to finish, I think we're really recognizing the need for this high quality data, the way our customers need it, and importantly, where our customers need it. And for many years, Refinitiv has offered these enterprise market data solutions to customers across the latency spectrum and with a range of delivery options. But in acquiring Maystreet, we are able now to combine Maystreet's lower latency capabilities, innovative cloud-enabled technology, and also strong operational agility with our existing assets. And I think it's fair to say this combination enables us to offer really exciting, innovative solutions to the market that we're going to hear a bit more about today. So Patrick, anything you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that we've talked about is that customers are able to access this ocean of data from as little as 2 microseconds to over 2 decades of historical data. So the latency spectrum is, we're delivering content to customers in the locations, at the latencies, and in the formats that are most digestible and useful for them. So you'll see a thinner, data model used in low latency, and then as you move out to historical data, it's just a widening of the amount of content available. And one of the things, just to touch on what I find, so there's a few things that I find really personally exciting about becoming part of LSEG, and one of them is the amount of content. So I still think about, when Maystreet started recording its first packet capture data, which is packet captures the raw frames that come out of the exchanges, how excited we were to have it. And now, as part of LSEG, we have hundreds of venues around the world, and we're really starting to operate truly globally. We had been in, just New York, and so there's a few things that are very tangible that really expand how we've been able to deliver technology, not just in terms of how customers consume it, but across the world, and then the breadth of the content we have, and making that consistent across all of the products.
Great. So, Patrick, you've talked about two parts, I would say, to what Maystreet is bringing to Refinitiv. First is the low latency technology, and second is the high quality Pcap data. Let's just start a little bit about the low latency piece, and Janelle, if you want to start, or Patrick, I leave it to you guys. But how does Maystreet's low latency technology fitting into the Refinitiv proposition? How does that really impact our customers? What does it do for them?
So yeah, I'll start. So we have Maystreet had 4 products that are now part of the LSEG offering, and I think they fit almost as a dovetail. So many customers do want a low latency solution, so they can use the software on-prem, or we can manage it for them. And that's really low single-digit microseconds, so it's deeply integrated with hardware. And so the benefit to customers is that they can expand, using the existing contracting frameworks that are in place. They can have additional services that help to satisfy the way that they want to consume the data. So that's lower latency, but it's also a lot of feeds that are really high volume. You can think of equity derivative markets that are frequently on 10, 40, 100 gig cross connects. So they're able to have really high bandwidth feeds that are depth of book, so they're order by order, which could be challenging to consume. So they're getting the right content. They're getting access to the very granular output of exchanges, right, which are not necessarily normalized. Now we're taking that same technology and we're putting it into an overhaul of a direct feed business that had existed within, originally Thomson Reuters, and then Refinitiv, and now LSEG. So we're able to evolve that technology and then expand the scope. And where it fits, kind of handing it just in 1 second to Janelle, is there are customers that are active trading participants. So you can think of broker dealers or market makers or OMS, EMS systems that want, maybe not as low of latency or the volume of data of an on-prem ultra low latency feed handler measured in single-digit microseconds. So running a managed service that has the same depth of book content, and then that plugs together with the consolidated feed, so they can be accessing global markets. Think of trading equities locally, but wanting global futures or interest rates or other products. And so that there's a really clear way that those products fit together, where customers can consume data in the places that they want it, with the content that they want it, and then have the ability to aggregate different services. And even further, those same systems can start their day with reference data and corporate actions and earnings and all of that are reasonable inputs to trading processes.
So Janelle, if you kind of have that bigger picture, please.
Yeah, no, I think Patrick's put it beautifully there. And I think the word it's always great to hear is that dovetailing of our solutions, our services, and our data. I think that's what we've all found over the last few months, is how that's really come together to service customers' use cases across a plethora of needs. So that's really exciting for us. And quite simply, from a Refinitiv perspective, we've seen from our customers that they, as Patrick said, can now benefit from this incredibly superior low latency technology to get direct access to that lower latency data. And this is now from hundreds of venues. Patrick touched on the content there, so important. Hundreds of venues across the globe that our customers can now get access to. So now, with this fast, accurate, raw data that Patrick's talked to, our customers can capture, replay, gap-fill events at greater speeds than we at Refinitiv were previously able to offer. And I think, just to finish, these new capabilities combined with our existing global content, long-respected data model, our symbology, are already enabling us to meet customer needs at scale and with greater agility and pace. And we're hearing from our customers that this is exactly what they've been waiting for.
Yeah, and it's not just the functionality, it's also the process of procurement. I think the other issue that comes up a lot is vendor management and, having already papered contracts where you're just adding services as opposed to starting anew with a new firm. So I think it kind of goes both ways.
With that, with that, we really have started to realize, so there's this element of the global nature. Maystreet was based in New York, and I joked, but not entirely inaccurate, that we could walk to a lot of our revenue. So we did well within an area. Now we're really all over the world, and we had just this morning, I had a team member volunteer that they were fluent in Mandarin, which is just such a great way to have a bigger team to help us work through a particular nuance to markets in China. And so we're operating globally, and we've removed the risk of what would be, a growth stage technology company, in the way that we're fitting together, where the Maystreet team is continuing to do what we set out to do from a product point of view. We're applying our template to this additional coverage. And making it work within this larger sales organization. So there's a lot of things that have started to work exactly as we had hoped, and that's really comforting and exciting as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've always found compelling about Maystreet's Pcap data solution is it's actually using its low latency technology to, capture this data from a granular, nanosecond timestamp sort of way. And then on top of that, you have Analytics Workbench, which kind of offers a view into that data. Can you talk a little bit, Patrick, about what use cases you see this sort of Pcap data with its maybe more granular lossless focus, as well as the sort of access methodologies? What use cases are we trying to address here? What's unique here?
So what's emerging, and so two kind of ways to talk about the same thing. One is, so with that highly granular nature, so we really have sought to have the world's highest quality tick data, and following through on what we were looking to do at Maystreet is we're getting all of this content that we didn't have. So that's true of emerging and frontier markets, FX, interest rates. So it's the content that's in the consolidated feed collected in the way that Maystreet had been collecting it. So hardware that's GPS synchronized, nanosecond level timestamp. So it gives a couple. So the use cases are around research, but it also can be TCA and execution analytics, surveillance. And so there's content that many sophisticated market participants are using in order to make decisions, whether that's order routing or in general interacting with the market, where to send orders, how large, how frequently to interact with the market, what available liquidity is actually there. So those are, that fits with an idea that I think is really important, which is there's this opportunity in the market to have this quality, right? It's very distinct from our competitors. We're saying pristine market data delivered in the right places in the right format. And that format and then that opportunity, we feel, is really focused on API consumption. So machines need that granularity and that detail, right? That if you were presenting it to a person to look at on a screen, they wouldn't necessarily need that resolution. It wouldn't be beneficial to have nanoseconds. So the overarching idea is that, how do machines consume data, which is quality, but it's also the delivery factors and the nature of the APIs, right? They're modular, easy to use. They have that granular, effectively non-normalized data in them. So all of those points go together, and then we realize this market opportunity of saying that, if you run your analysis, using our data, you'll come up with the right answer, and we feel that we have a clear direction and frankly, a pretty big head start on the rest of the market in building this best in class data platform.
And I would, if I may, just to roll that up a level, I think what's really important with the great examples Patrick's given there is that we're giving our customers greater choice based on their needs, on their use cases. And within this choice, we can build in cost and operational efficiencies. which is great. So with these newly combined assets, as we've heard from Patrick, we're taking a far more solution-oriented rather than a product-centric approach. And importantly, then we're able to leverage Maystreet's leading-edge technology and agility to deliver our data faster and better than ever before. And again, just in turn, these benefits for our customers, I think actually mean they can focus more on the trading activities that generate growth and revenue for their businesses, whilst we help reduce some of those pain points around the data that actually helps power their decision making.
So one thing that's kind of cool for us is, Maystreet had, in a lot of ways, it's, if people say, well, what are the alternative solutions? A lot of our, a lot of the customers that we scaled with, the only alternative was build internal. So we feel that our product strategy has the potential to enlarge the range of services we can provide to customers, and that there's a lot of commonality across this, so that when done well, there's real TCO benefits. And I'll point out one that I'm super excited about. Is that we're delivering our data increasingly to Amazon. We started working with Amazon almost 7 years ago. We're on our third release of what's now called the Workbench product. And as we deliver that data to Amazon, we're making it available in S3 buckets. And the customers are able to access single copies of that data, so they avoid having to create their own copy. And you can look at this, and if you go to the Amazon S3 calculator, you can see 20 petabytes costs just over $400,000 per month just to store it. And we have recently signed a new pricing agreement that allows us to scale over 100 petabytes. So customers can really get out of this huge storage problem they have with working with data. And this is something that stays true. We're producing more and more data, and there's a reflexivity to it, which is, more digital. More trading produces more data, that produces more trading. We're seeing that start to happen in fixed income. So this data growth becomes a problem for customers that we can offload in large part. Tick Data is one of the largest consumers of storage, and we're able to offer this in a cloud native way where we can have real total cost of ownership benefits. So we're the quality in the right place, and then increasingly in the right formats, where we're making that data available in Parquet and other open source formats, so that users can build their own data science stacks. And that's a modern cloud native way to work with all this data.
So Janelle, Patrick is talking about cloud native, and of course, everybody wants to leverage the cloud now, especially post-COVID. Can you just talk a little bit about how Refinitiv has adapted other real-time offerings to meet the challenges customers are facing, particularly with respect to cloud?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think this is undoubtedly an exciting and fast-moving space to be in right now. It seems just yesterday we were discussing the merits of private cloud, and today we've got so many customers demanding zero footprint and moving entirely to public cloud. I think Google recently did a survey where they estimated over 70% of sell-side firms already consume cloud-deployed market data today for trading, analytics, and data needs. And a higher 90% of buy-side firms are consuming the same for portfolio management and other activities. So I think whilst humans are still going to be essential to the trade process, the cloud has really enabled that AI, machine learning type tooling to help deliver faster, more effective analytics and risk reviews that are really helping drive that decision-making process for our customers. And for our part, we're recognizing that our customers are at all different stages in their cloud journeys, and things like size, location, budget, and plans can vary widely. And I think this really echoes Patrick's points on understanding where our customers are and what they're trying to achieve. But really, to meet our customers' objectives, I mean, as you said, Manisha, we've been investing for some time in cloud connectivity and enablement. We've already got hundreds of customers consuming our real-time conflated data via the public cloud. This is our real-time optimized service, and we'll soon be delivering full tick data at scale in the same way, and with a fully managed service option available in public cloud, and that already exists today using private cloud. And another example to share is where we've adapted and evolved our offerings in our tick history business. And we already store our full tick history database off-premise in the cloud, and we have made our 25 years of tick history data available on demand and queryable via Google's BigQuery. So I think quite simply, we're continuing to innovate, listening to, partnering with our customers. We're also continuing, this is really important, to focus on the security, stability, and resilience that our customers are quite rightly demanding of us. And we hope that this important balance will also enable us to lead the way in delivering something Patrick's touched on a few times, high quality data in a really flexible manner for our customers, and have the ability to do this across the latency spectrum. So I think that's the ultimate goal.
Great. I mean, you mentioned really helping our customers, get what they need done, and I often think of data as really a means to an end, which is decision making and analytics. So as we think about the data value chain, starting with data sourcing, going to data processing, ending with those decision making, decisions that will basically drive profitability. One of the big issues that comes up with respect to that data processing world is the heavy lift of integration. And Janelle, maybe you could start us talking about what are the issues with data integration, and what sorts of things are we doing to help firms address those issues?
Wow. Well, I think we could spend quite a bit of time on this one, so I will try and be succinct and hand the mic to Patrick. But I think one of the things we found is data integration issues can mean a number of different things. They can be anything from the quality of the content being integrated and the methods being used for extracting the data, to the available tooling, and even to the skill sets of the developers doing the integrating. Now, often, as many will know, requiring multiple programming languages, knowledge of different data types, symbology, and lots more. And I think other challenges include that our customers face include areas around entitlements, compliance of data, when that sits outside the traditional desktop. So from a data governance perspective, data once integrated can actually be quite onerous to manage and control. So how we're working with customers is really across, again, a plethora of use cases around quality, extraction, integration, and data management to really help customers solve these issues. So Patrick, I don't know if you have any further examples to add.
Well, I think part of the thought process is that there's really a lot of commonality around integration, right? So when we think about how we work with clients, so much of these systems have been built on-prem and built entirely by our customers, and that if we think about product, what we hope and what we aspire to is building it, in a way that's right, of the right quality and flexibility and transparency, that will be able to in some ways move up in terms of the sort of services we provide clients. So instead of just handing them data, we're now starting to be able to think about handing it to them in the right way, offloading the storage, giving them software to integrate with different workflows, being able to bring what we've said is bring the equation to the data, so customers can control how it's formatted. They have the tools to do that. So building tools around the delivery of data that give customers a lot more control and a lot more choice. And what that means is that it's the best sort of economic relationship, and then it's mutually beneficial. And I think that product leads the way on that. If we're able to think about products that help and empower our customers, then we're really on the right path.
So as we come to the close of this session, we're also coming to the close of the year, and that's always a time where people are really trying to look forward and see what trends are driving our markets. So maybe we could end on a bit of a discussion on what trends you see driving our markets for 2023, and how we are actually addressing them to help our customers.
Okay. I'm happy to kick that off. So, I mean, aside from some of the macro trends we can touch on as well, I think across our industry, there are a number of key trends. Of course, we've touched on cloud heavily. I think continued investment in cloud and that accelerated pace will certainly keep going into next year, with even more emphasis from what we're seeing on public cloud delivery. Areas like storage and on-demand access that we've touched on today. And I would say even more pressure on our customers to reduce their total cost of ownership as well. And certainly other things include customers requesting from us a lighter touch on their side and more services and scalability around the data management piece of our business that we've been offering for some time. And that's both in terms of the technology, but also the people and the support aspects as well. I think we'll also see other areas such as even more sophisticated customer and partner applications out there in the market, such as charting and analytic portals requiring real-time and other data frequencies to power these applications. I think we'll see even more automation and focus on artificial intelligence and machine learning tooling, again, based on these new use cases, possibly even with some cloud exclusive data services arising. And lastly, I think even more expectation from customers for faster, more agile, self-service type options with really simplified kind of modular commercials, so that we're giving customers flexibility, not just in accessing the data, but in the way it's also bought and onboarded as well.
Yeah, I love that. I love that as a concept, because if you can make more data available when people are asking questions, if you can, at the moment people are making a decision, when you think about the data and analytics business, how we can take data and help inform the investment process for market participants, that it's really high impact, right? So this idea of modularity, where it's like people may need a piece of information at one moment in time and it's really impactful. And if we deliver services and technology that allow them to go into that ocean of data, combine it across all these assets they have, it really has the potential to help inform the investment process. And I think that that's really exciting for us to be in. And I think that the transformation and evolution of which the cloud is so fundamental is that people now have, you have compute and you have storage, and these, huge tech companies with great technology are make it so that you can run a piece of compute on demand. And it really is a breakthrough where it's like we have all of this content and all of this domain knowledge, and now we have a way to operate on it on demand, and we can line that up with commercial. So I think it's actually a really exciting time. I can't, having been working with financial data for 20 years, I think it's more interesting than it's ever been in the last 20 years for a lot of reasons. And no small part of it is the innovation that's been done by other technology companies that make it possible to work with this.
Yeah, I think the other thing I would say is regulators' interest in transparency is only going to be, I don't know, it's a boon.
Has anything bad in the market happened, or?
Only going to be a boon for market data, because there's going to be more data, and it's going to take on, I think, a even greater significance even after the trade. Well, look, Janelle, Patrick, thanks so much for taking the time with me today and sharing your expertise with all of us. We are at our close, and thanks again.
Thanks for inviting us.
That brings us to the end of this live stream. Thanks again to our audience for joining us today. We hope you found this to be valuable. And if you have any questions, please do get in touch. Hope to see you again soon. Have a great day.